Hello, Anthony. How are you?
All right, how you doing?
Good, good, good. Congratulations on King of the Hill Revival series premiering August 4th on Hulu. Now, as we all know, King of the Hill, the original run was a classic, and now Hulu brought it back from its
Yeah,
hiatus, so to speak. So this is more or less a sequel, if you will. So let me
yeah,
start by asking you this, Anthony. Were you always a fan of the original King of the Hill? And what was your reaction when you got this role?
yeah. I was actually in one of the episodes back in like 2005. But
Ah,
before that, I was already a fan. And because I was just a fan of Mike Judge already of his work. Of course, Office Space, Beavis and Butthead. And all that stuff. So I was already a fan of the show when I got to be on it, and then when I got this role, the recurring role, I was just like, I was just blown away because I was just like. It's like it's one of the things I've always wanted to do. I've always said, man, it was if I could make a living just doing voiceovers, man, for stuff like this, like cartoons or whatever, man, I'd be killing the game like that, man, because it's probably like the easiest job you can have, to be honest, man. So it's
definitely.
just a big opportunity, man.
Now you play sous chef Emilio, Bobby's right hand man. But Bobby
Yeah.
Bobby basically grew up in this in this revival. I've seen the episode, very funny episode. Not only did you lend your own voice as Emilio, but you also lend your own likeness, meaning Emilio looks kind of like you.
Yeah.
Appearance wise, was that intentional from the beginning? Did the animators kind of see you and say, let's just base it off of him?
You know what? I'm not even sure, to be honest, on that side of it. Because I didn't see my character what it looked like the whole time we were doing the recording sessions. I was just going in and doing the sessions, but I didn't know what the character looked like
Huh?
until the last day, the last session that we did. I saw the character up on the screen. They put the character. Okay, also here's your character real quick. This is what it's gonna look like. And I looked and I was just like, I was just like stunned. I was just looking at it. And I was like, kind of looks like me. But they never really told me. Go, yeah, we're gonna go off of your likeness and everything. But hey, that's great that my judge did that. It's like it's because now it's easier to spot me now.
Well, what's it like working with actress Pamela Adlon voicing who voices Bobby? Or did you guys not to get to meet because it was like recorded separately sort of thing? How did that process work?
Basically I had met her a couple of times before, because of the table readings and all that. And she
Mm.
usually like would sit next to me, when we would do the readings. And but during the sessions, it was just everybody goes in individually, during the sessions. But like I said, on the table readings, it was like a surreal experience because I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her do her parts, as Bobby, and it's just a trip, because it's a woman, and and I already knew that, but I just never really got to experience that, to be sitting there next to a legend, right? They're basically the whole cast, they're all legends because the show ran for what, like 13, 14, like 13 seasons or something like that. So it's like everybody on that show's a legend, and for me to be working with everybody right there, to me it was like, oh damn, man, I'm honored to be in that circle right there.
Now, I've seen the episode, but for my viewers who haven't seen the episode, I'm looking forward to seeing the episode next week or whenever that airs. How would you describe Emilio's dynamic with Bobby in the kitchen? Does Emilio's presence present challenge or support for Bobby? How does that, can you describe it for me?
I mean, basically, Emilio, aside from being, Bobby's, right hand man, chef, he tries to help Bobby, and in certain situations, because Bobby always has some kind of issue going on, whether it's with Hank or with, somebody else or his partner chain, they own the restaurant chain, so it's like I'm there kind of like in the middle, always trying to help him out, encourage him, and just kind of keep him on track because I'm older than him, obviously, So I'm kind of almost like a second father figure to him, and I'm trying to just help him out and see him through his day to day, make life easier for him.
I love it. I love it. Anthony, you had been a musician and now you are an actor. Here's the fun question. Since you play a sous chef here, musician, actor, what about a cook? Can Anthony cook food? And if so, what is the one food that you like to cook?
Oh man, yeah, I could cook, I could throw down in the kitchen here and there, and of course barbecue, But one of my favorite dishes is because I love Italian food, so chicken Alfredo. That's one of my dishes, and then sometimes I'll do some enchiladas for Mexican food, But chicken Alfredo, I love that because my grandkids love that. I have two grandkids, two boys, and they're always telling me, "Hey, Grandpa, can you make us some chicken Alfredo?" And I go, "You just had that like 3 days ago." Yeah, but it's good. We want more.
The joke in the movie, I mean the movie, the show about propane versus charcoal, that cracked me up. So let me ask you,
Yeah,
Anthony, propane or charcoal? What do you prefer?
yeah.
Why?
You know what? I prefer both because there's certain things, and not just charcoal, but I like mesquite too as well. Certain foods you got to switch it up, man. Certain foods you got to, but propane is good. I use propane, for a lot of things, and charcoal for certain things, and mesquite for other things, but yeah, it's a combination. I can't say either one.
Fair,
I don't want
fair
Hank
enough.
to get mad at me, but yeah, I use propane though.
Now, my last question is, what is your advice to someone who wants to make that career transition from music to acting, just like you did? And also, do you find acting opportunities for actors today much more challenging now because of the threat of AI and stuff like that? How would you navigate around that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the AI, that's a big thing going on right now. Obviously, but I know there's a lot of people fighting against it. That okay, you can't. AI is good for certain things, but you can't use it for this thing. Because it just doesn't make sense. Because now you're taking money away. And you can't just use people's likeness just like that. So I know there's always going to be that thin line, but I'm not too worried about it. At the end of the day, is like the way I see things. Things are people still going out for auditions. People are still landing roles. It's just a thing of. If people want to get into acting, try to take some acting classes, man, or try to sign up. Look in your local area where there's agencies that do to start off like background work, and kind of get in and just start kind of learning the business and start figuring out how everything works, But for sure, a couple acting classes here and there, you don't got to go hardcore. Just kind of try it out just to see if you're feeling it, and you'll know right away if that's for you or not.
For my fans at home, everybody go check out King of the Hill Revival Series premiering August 4th on Hulu. Thank you for talking to me, Anthony, and
Oh, thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.